your end table from 3D to a two-dimensional drawing. So all we're going to do, go to Design, Drawing, from Design, and we're going to leave it on 11.5 or 11 by 17 paper in the landscape orientation. Click on OK. So when it starts up and comes in, we're going to first change one thing, and that is the dimensions so that everything is in inches, all right? So first off, we're going to bring this in. That's too small. So over here, scale-wise, what happens if I put 1 to 4? Okay, you always work in quarters, okay? So in other words, halves and quarters. So 1/2, 1/4, 1/8, things like that. So our scale, that's perfect. That's going to be our view for the side view. So right there, and we're just going to click on OK to start. Right now, I'm just going to come in right away and just go and set up my document. So my document, my units are in inches, but when I click on it over here, I'm going to change my precision, or sorry, my format to fractional. Right now, everything's going to be in fractions. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to do a projection from this one, and we're going to do top view. Now you can see it isn't going to fit, right? So I'm going to click on OK from here, and all I'm going to do is double click the original one, and instead of 1 to 4, we're going to go 1 to 8. Right, there we go. That's much better. All right, and on OK, and I'm just going to take this one, and you can see if I move them, they actually move together, right? So that one's going to come this way. That one's going to come like that, right? And then what we're going to do is our side view, which we're going to have to move this one up, okay? And our side view, so we're going to project from this way. There's our side view. And I'm going to put one up in the corner like this. And then we click OK. So there's all of our views. All right, we're going to change this title block in a bit, right? And that'll be in the next tutorial. So what we can do now is basically dimension it. So we're going to come in close. And when we dimension, right, here's dimensions, or letter D. What do we need to know? Well, we need to know the very top to the very bottom. There is 2 3/4. All right, now is that right? Yes, it was 20 inch plus 3/4. So we need to know that. We'd also need to know the width of, or the thickness of the top. So from here to there. So there's our 3/4, right? We need to know a leg, although 20 3/4, right? Minus 3/4 is 20, but we're going to put that in here. So from there to there. Okay, we need to know the over dimension of the top. So from this to there, right? So it's 21, right? We need to know the distance from the inside the rail, right? So it's 16. We need to know from this one to here, right? Which is 4. What else do we need to know? We need to know the overall width of a leg, right? And then we need to know the taper. So we're going to put the taper in this case, because there's a taper. It's 1 inch. Okay, so what else is needed? Okay, we know it's square because we go 21 and we don't put it anywhere else. We probably want to know what's happening up here. So how wide this is. Now this is deceiving because you actually don't see the rest of it. So what we're going to have to do is I'm going to hit escape to get out of dimensioning. And we're going to right mouse click. Sorry, we're not going to right mouse click. We're going to double click. And we're going to double click. And over here, we just did the style, a style with hidden edges, or edges that are hidden, or lines that are hidden. We're going to actually do this one here, and it's going to show a lot more detail. Now, when I click close, okay, it only did it on that one. So we're only going to show it on here for now because it shows the actual width of the rail, right? So the dimension of this rail from here all the way to there is 3.5, right? This also shows that the rails are centered on the legs because nowhere else does it show down here that the rails, how the rails are centered, right? So that one's going to show that, right? And the only other one I think we're going to need really to build this is dimension how much of an overhang there was, right? So there's a 1 inch overhang, okay? So we now have that. We know it's 3.5. We know the thickness. We know they're centered, right? We didn't add it to any of these. We can, but we're not going to, okay? And that basically completes your dimensioning, right? And then we're going to go on to another tutorial about how to change that.